Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I retired recently. Well, that's not strictly true. I'm not quite old enough to get the state pension, but I did take my personal pension and take some tax-free cash. And I wanted to spend that on something special, something that would last a lifetime and something that would give me lots of memories. And you've probably realised by now that I've decided to invest in some garden furniture. Let me make it really clear at the outset, I'm not getting paid any commission or any fees for making this video. This is a generic guide on how I went about choosing this company for my garden furniture, and you can apply the same logic as I've applied to your decision. But I am biased towards the company that I chose. I must be, otherwise I wouldn't have chosen them. And Bridgman, which is the company I chose, have given Mark's House and Garden UK subscribers and viewers the opportunity to get a freebie, which I will be telling you about in this video. Now then, buying this garden furniture has been quite an investment for me. When I think back across my life, I've spent more on this than I did my first car when I was 18 years old. So it's important to make a good decision. So I've put down a 10-point plan on how to make that decision if you decide to buy garden furniture. You could actually apply the same rationale to buying anything. Okay, let's get into it. And of course I will type up my 10-point plan in the description box below this video. And also in that description box you will find details of how you can get this free cover. Now the first point I would make, which is pretty obvious, is make sure the garden furniture you buy fits into the space. Now this looks lovely, doesn't it? But you must also allow for the chairs to come out and space behind so that you can get around it. Pretty obvious, but it would be very easy to go along to a showroom when you haven't got the context of your own space and buy something too big. So there's a foot and there's another 2 foot. So make sure it fits in your space. And similarly, make sure you buy a cover that's big enough to cover your chairs as well. Now I have in this box something else which I bought from Bridgman. In actual fact, my mother-in-law has paid for that. It's a little present. I'll show you what's in there in a moment. Right, let's get back to this buyer's guide. Now, I did just mention don't buy solely on what you see in a showroom, but having said that, I do think it's important that there is a showroom where you can go and see what you're going to buy and test drive it. And that's one of the things I liked about Bridgman. I think they've got 5 or 6 showrooms, and I went to the one in Wilmslow where I was able to see this, touch it, feel it, sit in it, and have a really good forensic look at it in detail. What I really liked about these chairs was they feel like a bit of an armchair, so you can sit there and have a drink, or you can sit and have dinner. And I particularly like this closed, rounded back, because that will stop drafts coming in, which is quite important when you're retired like me. And Bridgman also have an online presence. They have a website. I'll link to it in the description box below this video. And they also have this wonderful catalogue, which you can get for free. Now, if you go online and get that catalogue, will you put Mark's House Garden in the box where it says, where did you hear about me? Because I would be interested to know from Bridgman whether they get many inquiries from you. Okay, so plenty of options to see the furniture, look at it and test drive it. And incidentally, if you go to Wilmslow, there is free parking for 2 hours at the Waitrose across the road, literally 100 metres away. And also, if you go to Wilmslow, you will meet Emma, who was lovely. She was very professional, but not pressurised. The minute I feel pressurised, I'm out of there. Emma wasn't. And I think that speaks to the next point. Are there real people that you can speak to face to face and have a good conversation, a realistic conversation? And that's what I got from Bridgman in Wilmslow. Another thing I really liked about Emma was that she invited us to give her a personal review, which I think speaks a lot. And goes to my next point, which is all about reviews and independent reviews. We live in a world now where you can just look on the internet and get reviews. Have a look at Bridgman's reviews, as I did. Have a look at any company that you're about to buy from and check out their reviews. And so reviews was my next point. And yes, reviews are very important. The thing about reviews is they are really quite recent or current. They're based on the now, the present day. And if a review isn't recent, then I would be asking questions. However, that doesn't really give us all the information we need, because very often you will be getting a guarantee with furniture like this, and you'll want that guarantee to be worth something. And what is a guarantee worth if that business is about to fail? So my next point is longevity. Choose a business that's been around a long time. Now, past performance is not a guarantee to future performance, but I felt more comfortable dealing with Bridgman because they were established in 1977 and they are still going strong and they're still getting great reviews. So those two things combined gave me a lot of confidence in this decision. And incidentally, if you do look up Bridgman, you will notice that there's no E in the name, and that's because it's a family name. It's a family business. It's still owned by the family and run by the family, and that's why there's no E in the name Bridgman. Incidentally, I am in a moment going to tell you how you can get that freebie and show you what's inside this box, but a couple more buyer's guide points to talk about before I do that. And so my next point is accessories. Things like cushions. In cushion options, you can have them in a range of different colours. And also, there's a parasol with this set. And then, of course, we have what's inside this box, which I will tell you about in a moment. On a more serious note, delivery. I got free delivery with this company. Some companies will add on an extra charge just to deliver the things that you've purchased. But not just that, you need the company to be flexible when they're delivering. I decided when this was delivered, and it was delivered on time. Now, it was delivered by a third-party company, but they were excellent. In actual fact, the driver, Craig, went out of his way to make things good for us. But one thing you do need to consider is oftentimes things like this will be delivered on a pallet. And a pallet requires a pallet truck, which will not go on gravel. So be careful when you're ordering things to establish that they can get it to where you need it. So this was delivered on a pallet to the tarmac just off my gravel. Happily, because I'm relatively fit, I was able to unpackage it there and bring it in myself. Something to think about though. If it's going to be palletized, make sure they can get it to you. Now, I am aware that this is starting to feel like a Bridgman advert. I'm not getting any commission or fees, I promise you. But I did ask them if they would give something for my subscribers and viewers, and they came up with a special offer, which is a free cover. Now, there are terms and conditions with this. They can't just give these away to everyone who asks for them. You've got to spend some money with them. And in order that they can monitor what happens, you've got to spend that money through Emma at Wilmslow. Do not worry if you can't get to the Wilmslow store. You can look online, you can visit one of their other stores. But if you call Emma at Wilmslow, she will either speak to you on the phone or on a video call. And if you order through her, she's got the authority to issue the free cover. There is a minimum spend. They can't just give these away to people who order very small amounts because their profit margins are not great. But Emma will discuss that with you, and I have put all the details in the description box below this video. So there's your special offer, which I've managed to negotiate for Mark's House and Garden UK viewers. Having said all that, you are still free to shop around, and indeed Emma encouraged us to have a look at other suppliers. Let's have a look what's inside this box. Now, this is a funky little device that gives you lighting and music underneath your parasol. It's an umbrella Bluetooth speaker with LED, and that, like a donut, it's got a hole through the centre, fits underneath the inside of your parasol. Cast down light and also links to your Sonos or whatever music system you're using. So there we go, that's another little interesting accessory. And I have to say thank you to Joan, my mother-in-law, for that gift. Appreciate it, love you very much. So there you go, my buyer's guide on how to choose garden furniture and why I chose Bridgman. Don't forget, the links to Bridgman are in the description box below this video, as are the terms and conditions for the free cover. And I will also type my 10-point rationale for how to make a decision when you're buying your garden furniture. Hope you've enjoyed that, found it interesting, informative, useful. If you do ring Bridgman, make sure that you mention Mark's House and Garden UK. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon for some more house and garden adventures. Bye for now.